It's a rare thing when one of us, we, lovers of speed and noise and engines, we, the small, die-hard enthusiasts of machines, sees one of our own elevated to much more than just the weird petrol-head friend who can't make it through a single dinner conversation without bringing up cars at least once. It's one thing to be successful at racing. It's entirely another to conquer more than just one four-wheeled discipline, and single-handedly kickstart a whole new generation of automotive enthusiasts, a whole new breed of passionate gear brains. Rally, X Games, Rallycross, DC shoes, and of course, Gymkhana. In all of History Night, there's only one man worthy of the title Head Hoonigan in charge. And of course, you already know who it is. Ken Block was and is one of the most important car culture figures of all time. And his untimely death in a snowmobiling accident this year has to be one of the biggest losses our community has ever experienced. As huge admirers of Block and the Hooning empire he spawned, we here at Ideal Media want to pay tribute by looking back at his career and, instead of mourn the loss, celebrate his life. Here's to you, Ken. Kenneth Paul Block was born on November 21st, 1967. He grew up skateboarding, snowboarding, riding BMX bikes, and racing motocross. Inspired by the innovation and engineering found in winter sports gear, Block co-founded DC Shoes with Damon Way in 1994, with the express goal of making a shoe specifically crafted to stand up to the harsh conditions of skating. Come 2004, both Way and Block found themselves married, had families, and had succeeded at building one of the most well-known apparel brands in the 2000s. After the pair sold the company to Quicksilver for $113 million, Block almost immediately began the next chapter of his life: rally. Armed with a snow camo liveried Group N Subaru WRX STI, Block joined co-driver Edstrom Bjorn Christian for his very first ever rally, the 2004 Rally of the Tall Pines in Canada. In 2005, Block dove in further, joining the Rally America Championship and teaming up with his career-long navigator Alex Gelsomino, one of the absolute best co-drivers in the game. After just one season behind the wheel, Block found himself winning his first ever rally in 2006 at the Rally in the 100-Acre Wood, an event he would go on to win 7 times. To this day, Block holds the record for most wins at this course. Block went on to win another event that year and podium multiple times for second place overall in the championship, again in his second year driving. And in 2007, he set his sights even higher by adding 2 World Rally rounds, 4 New Zealand rallies, and a return to the Rally of the Tall Pines. But while Block was hugely impressive for joining the sport at a relatively late age, he still craved more seat time. As he told Road and Track in 2014, "At the base of it all, I'm a rally guy, but I wanted to be in the car more." And he started trying to devise a way to get behind the wheel of a rally car away from racing. I think you all know where this is going. Looking for ways to get more seat time and have more fun in the car, Block started exploring the grassroots motorsports of Gymkhana and accidentally created an entire empire. While he'd already done videos like a segment in DC's Mountain Lab, it wasn't until November 2008 when a little film hit YouTube and changed the automotive world forever. Ken Block, throwing his Subaru sideways and showing off early signs of the insane precision driving he'd become known for, took the internet by storm. And Block, being the marketing genius he is, took full advantage. 2009 brought more stunts, another Gymkhana, and some pretty sweet Ken Block DC exclusive swag. Block was quickly becoming one of the most well-known names in motorsport, after only getting behind the wheel competitively 5 years prior. And with thanks to Ford, he was about to take his empire international. While Subaru was, and arguably still is, the face of rally in the US, on the world stage, their presence was dwindling. While it broke Subaru fans' hearts, Block teamed up with Ford for what would end up being a 10-year exclusive deal to race Ford products. Block shredded the tires right off of an Olsberg's MSE-built Fiesta in Gymkhana 3, started the Monster World Rally team to run a Fiesta WRC, which he himself ran part-time, and the Gymkhana brand was growing like wildfire, with Gymkhana Grid holding its first official event. In 2011, Block ran a full WRC schedule and started competing in the US-based Global Rallycross Championship as well. And while Block wasn't quite the rally-winning force in the WRC that he was in Rally America, you have to consider that most WRC champions are literally trained in the sport before they're even legally allowed to drive, and spend years in support classes learning the roads and conditions of every rally on the calendar. Block came in with barely 5 years of experience at age 43 and still managed pace. This level of performance isn't something that many could achieve given the circumstances. In 2012, Block kept competing in rally, but started to focus less on specific championships and more on just competing when and where he chose, while continuing his efforts in GRC. Most importantly, a single word began to show up on all of Block's cars: Hoonigan. Block said 0 to 60 called him King of the Hoons after the first Gymkhana dropped, and from there they just kept using the term until they came up with Hoonigan, and the brand was born. In 2012 also saw what had to have been the most impressive Gymkhana film yet, as Block and his crew managed to close off some of San Francisco's biggest streets to absolutely rip them to shreds. In June of that year, the Hoonigan YouTube channel would upload their first video, a compilation of the best hooning they could find online, including clips from Block's own previous projects. Now fueling the Hoonigan media machine, Block's group of like-minded, fun-loving YouTubing cohorts began building, showcasing, and beating the living hell out of a wide array of vehicles over the years. What better example than Block's Hoonicorn from Gymkhana 7 in 2014, taking elements of dirt, rallycross, and drag cars and shoving them all into an insane wide-body Mustang. Nothing quite like that had ever been done before, and watching it tear up Los Angeles is a spectacle few could ever forget. Finishing second in Rally America and 17th at WRC Mexico, in 2014, he'd secure runner-up for the GRC Championship, his highest placement in rallycross. In the years after Hoonigan's launch, focus was less and less on any discipline or championship in particular, and more on diversifying his portfolio and continuing to make Hoonigan the craziest automotive brand in history. In addition to the next few Gymkhana films, Block produced extra content such as Terrakhana and Climbkhana, with that famous shot of him hanging the rear end of the Hoonicorn off Evo Corner. But Ken's greatest professional accomplishment around that time had to be Gymkhana 10, with a full docuseries showing the production and 5 insane cars all tearing up 5 different locations. Block's magnum opus of the Gymkhana series came alongside his passing of the Gymkhana torch to Travis Pastrana. And with that, it was time for yet another change. After 10 years with Ford, Block and the Blue Oval split ways amicably, and all of a sudden, he was a free agent once more when it came to racing. With his eldest daughter Leah reaching the age where she could race professionally, Block also decided to stay closer to home and focus his efforts on supporting Leah in her future in motorsports. She'd already learned how to do donuts, drift, and even handle the 1400 horsepower Hoonigan. But in 2021, she'd enter rally and rallycross for the first time at the age of just 15. After doing a one-off race in a Skoda Fabia, Block ran most of the 2021 ARA National Championship right back where he started, in a Vermont sports car-built Subaru WRX STI. Later that year, he announced a partnership with global motorsport leader Audi for all things electric, and gained access to some of the coolest cars of all time because of it. The Hoonatron's debut in Gymkhana is probably the most badass display of an EV ever. 2022 would be one of Ken's most notable racing years of his career. Not only did he team up with 2C Competition to run a Hyundai i20 WRC in the ARA, but his wife Lucy and daughter Leah joined him for a full season. Sadly, after the most incredible season of rally the US has ever seen, Block went off the road on an incredibly slick turn on day one of the final event. With just 2 points separating him and competitor Brandon Semenuk, it was basically a must-win situation for both drivers, and Ken's retirement handed the unbelievably well-fought title to his Subaru driving competitor. Despite that bittersweet end to the season, competitors and journalists alike all agreed Block had never seemed as happy as he did in that final season, getting to compete alongside his wife and his daughter, with his other 2 children, Micah and Kira, joining them at several events. Ken even got to enjoy seeing both his wife and daughter podium in their classes multiple times in his final year of racing. While he was taken from us far too soon, Ken Block will forever be remembered as one of the most badass husbands, fathers, and drivers in history, an iconic pioneer of automotive culture, and most importantly, an incredible, loving, and caring family man. We'd love to hear your favorite Ken Block stories and memories down in the comments. I know a lot of you are all massively influenced by Block and his #AintCare style. From everyone here at Ideal, thank you, Ken, for everything you did for car culture, and for inspiring an entire generation of enthusiasts. Our heart goes out to the Block family and the entire Hoonigan team. I leave you all with this.